Hello, this is Neil from iPaintGirls.com, and I'm helping Epiphany347 from deviantart.com out with the pose. His pose is up here in the top left, and I had quickly drawn, and I had actually recorded the whole video showing the process of drawing these three different sketches and talking about the live process, but the damn audio didn't record. So instead, I'm just going to leave them there and then talk about why I chose the things I chose, and then I'm going to show some drawing here on other things we can do with this pose to make it cool. Right, so what I did here then is I really exaggerated this C line right here. That's the gesture line I really wanted to exaggerate. And in one of them, I decided, hey, I might be able to even kind of make an S curve here. Keep in mind when gesture drawings are all about the S and C curves. So this one has this S curve going on and it has a C curve going on. This one is more just focused on the C, and this one also is more focused on the C, although it does kind of have that S curve in there a little bit. Right, so the first thing I did is bring the right leg forward and the left leg back. The reason why I do that is because it's a more powerful pose. One reason why it's more powerful is because it adds more twist to the body. That is, if you have the body facing forward like this and this right leg coming forward, you really have to twist the torso around. And twisting the torso is always a good thing. When the torso is straight like this, notice it's just all straight. If I draw the spine line here, okay, how come this isn't drawing? The spine line there is all straight. That's boring. What you want to do is you want to twist it so you can bring this hip forward and that shoulder that way, and now you have some dynamicness to it. So notice how you have this twisting this way, they're twisting opposite ways. So the spine line comes and makes this more curved now. Now it's not so straight. And that's cool, and it also twists because it has the twisting coming up like that. So twisting is good, and then here the spine line comes down and then and around here, so that even the spine is curved. It's not twisted so much, but it has more of a curve to it. But it is twisted a little bit because you have the shoulders coming like that. And this is showing the back side of the person. I thought that'd be another cool way to show this pose, is showing the back side of the person. Um, Leg placement is also important. I tried messing around with bringing the leg forward like this more, and then bringing the leg down like this more. And I think both work well. I'm not sure which one works better. I think if I use this one, I would bring this leg more straight with more straight out like that to match the sword. Also important, the sword here is angled like this, and that's bad because it's going against the way the person's running. So instead, I made all my poses look more powerful by having the sword be like a speed line itself. Have the sword flow with the speed line with the movement, and it looks stronger that way. Also, really dipping him really low, curving this and dipping the person very low and running forward almost like they're charging or something adds more power to the running pose, as you can see. Another thing that's important is rather than having the neck show and the shoulders be very low, that looks kind of weak. And so always kind of whenever you're messing around with the new pose, draw the head wherever you want it, but then draw the shoulders up here like this, and just see how it might change the pose, because it could add a big difference by having the shoulders go up into the head. Then you can even draw the neck muscle and the shoulder coming down, or just the neck muscles. Anyway, kind of tuck the head down into the shoulders, almost like a turtle retracting its head, and that looks really cool. What's really hard to get to do is, like, if you're using like a 3D program or something to try to get a pose, it's really hard to get the 3D program to actually pose like that, to duck their head down into their shoulders. But you see it's common in comic books, but it's really hard to get a reference like that from any sort of 3D program. So instead, you're gonna have to, like, if you need a reference, is just do it yourself, like set your camera up to take a picture in 10 seconds and then pose for yourself, and then you'll have a general idea of how it kind of looks. Right, so another thing you can do though to make this pose powerful is we can mess with different, like, angles and stuff. So what if we were to draw the person from the ground plane or something? So let's say we have the ground plane down here, and then we have the horizon really low to the ground plane like that, and then draw from that kind of perspective. And also another thing you can do is have the person maybe kind of coming at us. That might be interesting. I'm going to really have this whole arc from her toe to her head, kind of like this. And yeah, I think that could work. So then let's just go ahead and draw the hips here. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to really kind of focus on the parts of the body I can see and not see, and I have to really focus on the side here, because I'm going to be able to see, side of the leg and the hip area where the leg comes up into the hip here like that, and then the leg, knee. I'm going to kind of instead of actually, I can't have the horizon line that far down for this particular one then because I'm going to kind of go down with the person here. So kind of almost, I'm going to probably have to make that a little bit shorter, something like that, and then have that angle come out, and then just trying to see, I want to really dig this foot like so. Okay, so there's that, and then I'm going to bring this leg, and I can experiment with now bringing the opposite leg high just to see what it looks like. So let's go like that, and then I'm going to kind of have that foot in the air probably, and maybe even have this foot back like that in the air, so that's cool. I might even have to bring this leg a little bit longer and further down just to make it look better, something like that. Let's see how much time I have left. And then now it's all about this back and then the curve. Bring this part of the stomach coming up. And then, all this part here from the side. And I have to decide, okay, well, how is this part gonna go then from here on? Let's say I could have this arm could be the arm that's coming down, and the other arm can be coming around this way, so that can be still from the side, and then have the sword coming like that. Or I can kind of twist the body. Let's see here. Let me think about this for a moment. I could twist this kind of like that a little bit. Still have the shoulders I can have the shoulders kind of angled like that. Have the head coming still into the shoulders like I did before. Then have the shoulders here and here. That's like way angled and looks funky. I'd have to angle it less, but that's like a total side angle. So let me see. Rather, I can have this shoulder here. Let me think about this for a moment. Just trying to work out how I want the sword to be holding. What if I twisted it to where it's kind of from the back side again? That might look the best from this particular angle. So in that case, then I'd have to really push the back here. And let's see here. Like that, and really see the back angle here. So that shoulder would be kind of disappearing. You'd be able to see some of the side angle there of the rib cage and stuff. And that shoulder would be back, and then you'd see a lot of that shoulder. See the back neck muscles, head. I'm going to have only just see kind of back of the head there. And then this arm coming back here, maybe holding the back part of the sword, the other hand over here holding the front part of the sword. Have the sword following the speed lines. And then trying to think how the best way to do that one. Kind of have it coming up a little bit, I think, and then down like that. That might work. And then kind of have that really pulling that. Yeah, so something like that could work pretty cool. And it's just a matter of, really messing with all this different stuff and just seeing what can work and not work. And the person is not really coming at us, though, as much as I thought it was going to be. Now I kind of changed that. But you really could make the person running at you, too. But just that's another interesting pose that I came, see what I came up with, and what I originally had in mind as I started working is different than what I came up with. But what I came up with is kind of cool, and you might want to save these kinds of sheets because you can always look back to them as a reference for inspiration and stuff. But let's say, okay, so let's say I kind of do that same thing where the person's going to kind of be coming up like this, and I decide, so their head is going to be facing like this. And now I'm going to have the shoulder, and I'm going to kind of have them, just thinking here how this should be. Shoulder, shoulder, arms, arms, and then kind of coming down into the waist. Just think about this for a moment here. I don't have much time, so I'm trying to. What if I kind of have the waist like this? So you see this front part here. The center line is going to become like this, so they're really going to be kind of bent and twisted a little bit. Sword will be like that. Notice I'm running out of time, so I'm just trying to work a lot faster here. And then I would let's see or so. Then this leg would kind of come like this, and then show part of that. This will be the foot they're on, and then this leg will be the one kind of coming back over here. Knee gets smaller as it comes back. And so that's kind of a cool pose too. Notice I did that one very quickly. I focus more on just the kind of gesture shapes and stuff and not so much on form or whatever. And so that one came out kind of cool. I kind of like that one a lot. That one has a lot of power to it, movement. It's like just flying that way. Notice all the ones I'm keeping the sword straight. So I actually like these last two, but notice that leg coming forward, I think still really does add more power when you bring that other leg forward. And notice this one I tried doing it to where this leg is the one that's forward, and it'd probably be powerful if I brought this leg forward and that leg back. Even this pose would probably be more powerful. It'd be more like this one though, but still the way that the spine and stuff turns and the way the head disappears on this one, they're really moving away from us. That it adds a lot of power to that pose. So anyway, like I said, hopefully this helps. Talking about all this stuff and doing these quick drawings, these quick sketches, just to kind of show how you can add power to poses and stuff. It's kind of cool. I like going through this process, and I learn a lot too by doing this, by filling up pages of different sketches and stuff. Like I did recently one of punching, and just trying to come up with different dynamics for punching, and it's pretty cool. You can come up with a lot of cool different stuff. Another thing you can do is maybe try having the person run at you or having the person run away from you, kind of. And again, if you have them, let's say, running at you, you might try to have the horizon line really low. So in this case, you're like maybe really focusing on the foot, and the foot's really coming at us like this, let's say. And then, so this will be the foot that is, I'm just trying to see how this is going to be. So you have this leg coming down like that, and then the knee, and then the other calf is coming up, down, back away from us. And so, just trying to think, kind of not totally at us, but kind of at us. I'm just trying to think, and then this, boom, boom, hip, and then you can have this leg coming way back over there, something like that. This leg is crossing that one, and then really kind of show this. Just trying to think how all this can be, and then they can just kind of be coming over here, and then this would be kind of foreshortened, and then the sword would be kind of. This is kind of weird because it's hard to draw. How would the sword be? It'd kind of be coming at us, but then also be kind of coming away from us, getting smaller, and that's kind of a weird pose to draw, but you can kind of see how that could work. The person's kind of coming at us, and that leg's going away from us, so they're kind of moving this way, but it's harder to pull off, but that could work in a comic book, just because you want to add variety. You get bored and you need to add different angles. That's one thing I've been working on now in my comic. My latest page, what I'm trying to do now is instead of just kind of having the camera set up in some non-moving position and like the characters move and stuff, but it's like kind of I want to move the cameras around more like in movies, and comic books do that more often. So I've been practicing on how do I move around the scene more. So like film it. So one panel might be drawn from the person is kind of facing a side view. Like let's say I have person A and B, and this is something to keep in mind with any kind of pose you're doing too. Is let's say I have person A here, and then I have person B here more in the foreground like that. Then I can switch the camera around now, and this is A and this is B. I can switch the camera around in the next panel, right? And this way I have person B back here doing whatever, and he's maybe from a side view, and he's kind of going whatever he's going. Then I have person A in the foreground, and let's say I'm trying to think person A is taller, so let's have him like this, and then oops, and then they're kind of more like this, and they're kind of walking away or something this way, and then you might see part of their legs, whatever, and then this person is back here, something like that. So now I switch the whole camera around. So now this is B, and that's A. So you get the idea is switching cameras around angles and stuff. That way you have people overlapping, whatnot, just adds more variety. So I've been trying to do that more now, getting out of my comfort zone and doing more of this, which is a little bit more difficult. But it might take me a little bit longer to make the pages, but I really want to add that dynamicness to it. All right, I hope that this quick little pose correction or helps anyone else out there. Thank you for watching. Please click the thumbs up if you care to, and I appreciate your support. Adios.